Hey, welcome back. Thanks for watching. I've had a lot of comments about financial advisors, and I understand that hiring a financial advisor isn't necessarily for everyone. I do think that even if you are going to go alone on your plan, that you should maybe at least talk to an advisor and get a second opinion. But a lot of people have asked, well, how did I find my advisor? What criteria did I have? Well, I'm going to kind of lay some stuff out, maybe some personal stuff here, but just try to give some advice on maybe what you can do to find one that suits you. So now the one I have, I've known him since high school, so it's not like he was some stranger. And we do live in a small town, so I mean, people know each other, and as such, even if I wouldn't have known him, there would be people in town that did. But when my wife was planning to retire in 2019, my first thought was to go with him just because I knew him. And after that initial conversation about handling my wife's accounts, I felt really comfortable, and my wife did too, with going with him. And so we just went ahead and turned over her 401k to him, and I followed his advice on some things that she had. So over the course of the next 5 years, I mean, that account of hers was handled very well. I mean, it wasn't, it maintained what it was supposed to and provided for us. And so we were really impressed with that. But when it came time for me, I mean, I guess I just defaulted to him more or less because I knew him and because I knew his family and that type of thing. But I would suggest, if you're in a larger town or you don't really know anybody in that realm, why maybe the best thing you can do is to talk to family and friends to see who they use. Talk to people that you work with and see who they use. And then interview a few of them, make some appointments and go talk to a few of them. You ought to feel comfortable talking to your advisor. They ought to listen probably to you more than they talk to you. But if you ask questions and they really evade the answering, or they're not clear, if you ask them the same question 2 or 3 times and they get frustrated because you're not getting it, well, maybe that's a clue that they're not for you. I think an advisor should be someone that listens more than he talks. And if you have questions, that he ought to listen to your question closely enough to be able to give you an articulate answer, or be honest and upfront about it and say, well, I'm not for sure, I'll have to check in with that. But if you go into an advisor's office and you are intimidated right off the bat, or once you get to talking, you realize that, just by their demeanor, that they're not looking out for you and have your best interest at heart, then I would just move on and go with another one. There's nothing that says that if you go talk to somebody that you got to give them all your money. But I would interview a few, and just find one that you're comfortable with. I mean, this process may take several months or maybe even a year to find somebody, especially if you're in a large town and have people that maybe you don't know. But I would definitely ask friends and family, co-workers, people at church, your neighbors, people that, or maybe even somebody that that's retired. But I'm not going to give any recommendations because I don't know anyone other than, just a few here in town. But I think that's the best way of going about it is going and like giving a job interview and just asking the questions and laying out your plan and what your thoughts are and your goals and your dreams. And let them listen to that and assess the situation. And and if you're getting somebody that has high pressure and really pushing you to do something that you don't want to do, then I would just get up and walk out. I mean, it's not a lifelong commitment to hire a financial advisor. And I would suggest interviewing a few of them. Call them on the phone, see how they interact with you just on the phone. If you got to go through a bunch of hurdles to talk to somebody, if you've got to drive hours to go meet with somebody face to face, why maybe that's not for you. But I would find someone local, or at least someone that you can get to in a reasonable amount of time, and not try to do everything over the phone. I wouldn't do that at all. But anyway, I'm hoping this helps. I don't have all the answers. I feel like I was fortunate to be able to get the one that I did. And there are others, but quite frankly, I didn't interview anymore, partly because I know him and because we were so comfortable with him at the first initial meeting. And I'll say this, I just thought of this, but I actually had my first initial meeting with him back in 2008 or 9, I think, because I'd started a small account just off on my own. years before I ever thought about retiring, and really never really had any interaction with him again up until maybe 2019 when my wife was planning on retiring. But anyway, I hope this helps. I have no, I'm just sharing what I've experienced and what I understand. I'm no expert on anything. I'm not giving you any advice. Just laying out what I think on my mind, what I would do if I was to go look for a financial advisor. So anyway, with that, I'll close. I thank you for watching. I'll say God bless, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.